I think War of the Worlds is going to be a bomb.
Really? I hope so.
Yep.
I've had enough of Tom Cruise.
But it was getting, like, raves before, like, 2 weeks or a week before it comes out.
Go to Rotten Tomatoes.
No one saw it before yesterday.
Is that it?
Last night is the first time any press had seen it.
Wow.
Because Tom Cruise is around way too much. He never did press like that for those other movies. I mean,
true.
he did his press junket, I know, but he is everywhere.
And
he's doing crazy press, and none of it's about the movie.
I think he's freaking out a little bit.
It's all like crazy, literally crazy press because he's insane now.
Sounds like John Heffron. Thank you.
Ah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good call.
Thank you. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is getting weird, man. It's like, I know we sound like every morning zoo show. He's getting kind of crazy, and the woman chimes in and goes, hey, crazy or not, I'd take him. Oh, hey, easy you.
Little weird. Weird.
Every time the men have fun, she pokes her head in. Hey, now, guys, control this.
Proving, once again, that we don't know shit about anything. The Rotten Tomatoes. I love this website, RottenTomatoes.com. War of the Worlds. So far, they have how many? So far, 7 reviews in. All 7 loving it.
Really?
Yeah. It's 100% so far.
Yeah, it's going to tank. No, it's going to do very well, I believe.
Dude, I swear to God.
It's going to do box office. Yeah, I think so.
When I saw Titanic posters years ago, I honest to God said to somebody, this is going to be a bomb.
Oh.
I really did. I thought it was a movie about
Good one,
that.
Jimmy.
I mean, talk about wrong picks.
That picture's going to bomb.
The biggest of all time that I thought was, I have no ability to critique that stuff.
Yeah.
As far as what the public's going to enjoy.
I did the same thing walking around the city when we first got here to New York.
What movie? A Day at the Races?
No. Yeah, Groucho. You stink. Shut up. I was walking around the city, and bus boards were up for a television show that was coming to cable, and I looked at it and reading the little catchphrases and stuff, and I was like, this is going to be the worst show. It's going to tank. It's going to bomb. And it was The Sopranos.
No way.
From the press boards they were putting on the bus stops and the phone booths and everything else. I kind of looked, and just the whole thing, like, if one family doesn't kill him, the other will. And it's him standing there with his family on one side and the mob on the other. And I'm like, ugh, this just looks horrid. And, biggest success in HBO history and blah, blah, blah. Hey, you can't pick them all.
And Gandolfini, when you, watch him, you had to know he was going to be good from True Romance.
Oh, him in True Romance was the best he's ever been.
I heard that. Now, someone told me that was a story he related because somebody told him that story. Like, he actually did research on that role. And I don't know if he knew the guy or somebody, whatever, but somebody told him that story, which he made into that moment of,
it was
just
the
murder.
Great. The whole killer,
a true up
mentality. Yeah, true up. And just not even thinking he's going to kill her, and that's it. And
But that's,
really great.
That's what actors do. It's like sometimes they say do the opposite, and again, it's really hard to do because it sounds good, but sometimes you try to do the opposite. It's like, no, shithead, just do what you're supposed to do. But when you watch a guy like that playing the opposite, like walking in him and Dennis Hopper are like laughing and walking, having a friendly conversation.
Yeah.
In True Romance, he's like laughing with him, like, oh, it's like all fun and games, and then he just fucking murders him. It was great. Played the opposite.
All right, there is an update on Tom Cruise. He lost his mind on Matt Lauer on the Today Show. We have the audio that we didn't get to yesterday because we were too busy babbling about nothing.
Years ago, he had gotten into a heated little debate with Brooke Shields about psychiatry and medication to treat depression, Ritalin, things like that. And apparently that didn't get as much press as this did, but Matt Lauer kind of remembered it. And
who got into the debate? Oh, Cruise did. Got into the debate. Okay.
Yeah. About the whole Brooke Shields thing. Brooke Shields saying how some of these drugs are good for people. They need them. They use them. And Tom Cruise just saying, no, you don't need any drugs. It's all a farce by the drug companies and stuff. And that stirred up some shit when that happened. I guess it was a couple of years ago or something. And now Matt Lauer brought it up. And Tom Cruise just really sounds silly talking about this.
Well, sorry, Tom. We don't all have an entire religion of people surrounding and protecting our interests. Some of us have to kind of go at it on our own. We don't have a whole fucking bunch of assistants and people to kiss our ass when we're down and tell us that everything's fine. Sorry.
Scientology says that like millions of years ago there was this guy called Xenu, this like space guy named Xenu.
No, it doesn't.
Who took the thetans which are human-like peoples on this planet, which was Earth, but it was called something else way back when, and dropped hydrogen bombs all over the planet to kill them all. And that the humans now are host to these Thetans, which are these dead people that Xenu killed. And the only way you attain this top level of Scientology is to chase the Thetans out of your body and become pure and clear. They call them cleareds, when you're clear of the Thetans. So the whole religion is based on these wacky machines that you hold on to. Looks like tin can and strings that you hold on to, and it chases these Thetans out of your body, and you pay money to go up levels. It's like a video game, and you level up, and each time you level up, you're more clear of these Thetans that Xenu has put in you. That's the religion, by the way.
How the fuck do you know this?
I read about Scientology the other day.
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
Jimmy,
You know,
It came up in the news.
I don't know about you, but I feel real stupid
I've
right now.
had enough of it. How long are your shits? You take 4-hour dumps? I get I read a Ziggy cartoon and I'm finished. You have the whole fucking Scientology. You know, and it's funny, and I compared it with Psalm 5, and it just wasn't accurate.
Right, it's just like I have like a thesaurus in my bathroom, and I read a few words that start with the letter D. And this fucking guy has got Scientology figured out in one dump.
It's something that's been in the news, Scientology. It's something a lot of people know the name of, but really don't know what it's all about. When you realize what it is and where it came from, it really gets ridiculous. This is a failed pulp writer from the 50s, L. Ron Hubbard, who wrote books about science fiction and comes up with this idea, and he was so in the hole financially that he decided to make a church that was tax-exempt and got in all kinds of trouble with the IRS over it. And eventually they gave him a tax-exempt status over some kind of very controversial private meeting with one member of the Internal Revenue Service, which is a little off, too. Yeah. And they get this tax-exempt status now. L. Ron Hubbard, at one point, toward the end of his life, was making $1 million a day off of Scientology. $1 million a day. And but this was, back in, when did he die, 86, something like that? And he concocts this story, because every religion needs a story. Yep. And if you want the tax-exempt status of a religion, you can't just say, I'm a religion. You need a whole backstory to your religion. So as a science fiction writer, he comes up with characters named Xenu and Thetans, and then the gamesters of Triskelion come along and made slaves called thralls that yearned for freedom, but they had a necklace that brought them great pain.
I would love a
Star Trek fucking episode.
A Scientologist, like a real Scientologist, to come on or talk about it, and I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Nothing, except what you just said is the most I've ever heard about it.
That's pretty much the bulk of it right there. Right there is the bulk of it.
Let's say it works when the mics are on. Let's say hi to John in Brooklyn. John?
Yes.
Hey, John.
You believe in what Tom Cruise believes or whatever.
No, the Scientology part of it, I don't believe. But if you really listen to what he says, everyone's trying to make him out to be a kook. He makes a good point. In the fact that we as a society are over-medicated. We go to run to the psychiatrist, thinks it's going to solve our problems. Listen, to give you an example, why doesn't everybody just do a line of coke when you're tired? You know what I'm saying? Like, these drugs keep you in this zombie-like state where you just keep doing the drugs, keep paying the money.
Yeah,
dude, in some cases, you're absolutely right. And the fact that the drug companies are pumping out a lot of drugs and the doctors are prescribing them with all kinds of kickback deals from the drug companies. But that doesn't mean that some people out there aren't benefiting off of these drugs for their mental problems. And psychiatry. And who the hell is Tom Cruise to write off any drug use for psychological purpose? He comes off like an idiot. When a guy that makes action movies sits in his chair during an interview and starts getting into subject matter that he really couldn't possibly know that much about, he comes off looking silly.
Well, listen, look, I got a sister who's depressed and depression. She's been seeing psychiatrists and on all the medications. I've had my girlfriend was locked up for a year because, she was fucked up with drugs. They're both... I'm serious, yeah.
That's terrific. That's terrific.
It's true. But listen, they both were like, listen, the drugs don't help my sister. She's still depressed. my girlfriend was like, well, I was in a haze for about a year. It did nothing for me but put me in a zombie-like state. I think the point that he's making, though, not the Scientology crap, that's crazy, but the point that he's making about the drug companies and us being over-medicated is absolutely true, and I think people should get off his, because what's happening now is the drug companies and the medical professions are getting out the word in the media that he's a crazy man, but what he's saying is not really all that crazy.
It's not the drug companies that he's a crazy man. You watch it as a person, as a fan of his movies, you watch it, and it's like, if he feels this way, fine, but to get on an interview about your fucking latest movie and start, babbling this stuff, it's ridiculous.
He's just coming off like a pompous ass lately.
All right, well,
we have the audio. Let's just listen.
Yeah, let's listen to Tom Cruise and Matt Lauer going at it on the Today Show. I guess this was Friday?
Yeah, I think so.
We're a little late on this one, unfortunately, but...
Hoo-hoo.
I've never agreed with psychiatry, ever. Before I was a Scientologist, I never agreed with psychiatry. And then when I started studying the history of psychiatry, I started realizing more and more why I didn't agree with psychiatry. And as far as the Brooke Shields thing is, look... You got to understand, I really care about Brooke Shields. I think here's a wonderful and talented woman. And I want to see her do well. And I know that psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But Tom, if she said that this particular thing helped her feel better, whether it was the antidepressant or going to a counselor or a psychiatrist, isn't that enough?
Matt, you have to understand this. Here we are today, where I talk out against drugs and psychiatric abuses of electric shocking people, okay, against their will, of drugging children with them not knowing the effects of these drugs. Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not against her will, though.
Matt, I'm asking you a question. Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Uh-oh. How can he know the history of psychiatry? And this, by the way, is a complete reflection of his Scientology. Scientologists believe... they don't believe in psychiatry. They believe every ill in the human body, mental or physical, is caused by the thetans, by those entities that are in your body. And until they are cleared out, that is the only true way you can be healthy physically and mentally. Drugs, psychiatry, it's all bunk. It's all rubbish because the thetans are in there. And only through Scientology and the cleansing of these thetans will you be healthy in body and mind. Exactly. Exactly. Dear Lord.
You gave poor Kelsey too much information. He had to fall down again.
And that's what Tom Cruise is doing, because if he agreed even the slightest with psychiatry, he would be denouncing his own religion.
All right, well, let's
go
to Kentucky. Say hi to Tom. Tom, go ahead.
Xenu, for God's sake.
Man, Tom Cruise is a fucking moron. I have bipolar disorder. I lived with this shit my whole life. I thought I was fucking nuts. Oh, thank you. But, man, I thought I was completely fucking nuts. I would, slur all the time, stumble my speech, and they got me hooked up on Keppra, what they use for bipolar. Now I can think a whole lot better. It's just, life is just 10 times better. So, Tom Cruise is a freaking moron.
There you go. From Tom's mouth. I want to go okay, thanks. Let's go to Chris in Austin. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Anthony, I'm wondering, maybe Tom Cruise takes 4-hour shits and reads up, too.
And maybe he knows about psychiatry based on my method. On the shitter.
That's right.
You open up a big psychiatry book. Yes, I see, yes.
Let's go to Bill and
your legs are numb from the heavy book. And
heavy book on my leg. I got butt hickey from the rim of the toilet. Stand up like the newborn fawn. My legs are asleep. I can't walk.
The log is white like dog shit on the lawn after a week. You've been sitting there for so long.
Water's evaporated away, yes.
Let's go to Bill in Wisconsin. Bill?
Hey.
Yeah.
There's a band called Inturbulator 009. They've kind of made it their personal crusade to do nothing but expose the kinds of things that Scientology have kind of done to their members. All of their music is available for free download off of SoundClick.com. If to go up there, and most of their stuff is really funny.
All right.
All right, we'll send in some clips and we'll play it on the air, right?
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people out there that former members of Scientology and other people that try to expose it for what it is, and Scientology defends it like rabid dogs.
They're great at nipping things in the bud.
They do.
Special. They're really good at
They
that.
have lawyers, a team of lawyers that are second to none, and they will spend any amount of money they need to defend the religion, and they're constantly doing it. They will sue at the drop of a hat if you say anything about Scientology. Tie you up in court, whether they're able to or not. They will tie you up in court and outgun you financially to keep you from bashing them.
You gotta love Travolta. I mean, I think he's a real guy. He's been around Scientology for a long time, before it was hip in Hollywood to do it. He's just been there for years. And he talks about it, but he's not some ass running around just being self-important. It's just his thing. And
you know
whatever.
what, though? When you see pictures of him in front of that machine, holding the two things, holding those two tubes that are hooked up to the wire and the machine, and trying to chase away the evil spirits out of your body, you gotta look and go, and I understand, it really is no more ridiculous than any other religion. It's just, I realize it's too new. Like this in maybe 2,000 years, everyone's going to be the rage. Everyone will do it, just like Christianity and stuff. It's the same, basic story of these miracles and wacky things happening a long time ago, but it's just, no one saw Jesus Christ and has pictures of him and his actual writings and stuff. You didn't see the people that wrote the Bible. So you can't say, this guy was a kook. Enough time has to go by.
Well, now let me ask you a question. Are the Thetans, are they called Thetans?
Thetans.
Is that any type of symbolism, like maybe Thetans are something like and this negative energy, and there's some type of electromagnetic thing that this machine works on? Is it symbolic of that, or they really
I'm
think
sure you could rationalize it that way.
I mean, how do they look at it?
No, I guess some people probably rationalize it that way, but most of them, it's very strict as far as this is what it is. This isn't a figurative, spirit-like thing. This was Xenu. Xenu ruled the planets. There was intergalactic wars and stuff.
It is bad science fiction.
Very bad sci-fi.
Did you ever see Battlefield Earth?
Battlefield Earth.
No, that's just a fine example of L. Ron Hubbard's writing.
Did he write that? Was a Travolta film, right?
Travolta film.
Travolta
but it's based
spearheaded getting it made because he's such a huge
L. Ron fan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Based on L. Ron. He ought to Travolta ought to pray to the god of Quentin Tarantino and not L. Ron Hubbard. Because I don't think it was Dianetics that brought his career back.
That's good. Let's go to another clip here. Tom Cruise with Matt Lauer.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does. You're not getting to the reason why. There is no such thing as a chemical imbalance.
So postpartum depression to you is
Matt,
kind of a little psychological gobbledygook?
No, I did not say that.
I'm just asking, what would you call it?
Matt, that is the post. Now you're talking about two different things.
But that's what she went on the antidepressant for.
But what happens, the antidepressant, all it does is mask the problem. There's ways of vitamins and through exercise and various things. I'm not saying that isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. That's an alteration of what I'm saying. I'm saying that drugs aren't the answer. That these drugs are very dangerous. They're mind-altering, antipsychotic drugs. And there are ways of doing it without that so that we don't end up in a brave new world. The thing that I'm saying about Brooke is that there's misinformation, okay? And she doesn't understand the history of psychiatry. She doesn't understand in the same way that you don't understand it, man.
This ass is saying that vitamins and exercise will keep you from smothering your infant in postpartum depression.
There you go.
Have a Flintstones chewable and then do 2 miles on the treadmill. Fucking boob.
Replace something with something else.
Dr. Phil always says.
Dr. Phil says. So if you replace your psychosis with a treadmill, you'll be fine.
I don't believe there's no... I think he's probably right about a lot of it being abused, and a lot of the chemical imbalance is probably shit. But to say there's no such thing as a chemical imbalance, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, again, it would debunk his religion. So he's either brainwashed that he actually believes this, or he just feels he's got to back up his religion.
He's a guy who's used to... I mean, look, Tom Cruise has been a star for probably most, if not all, of his adult life.
Yep.
He is used to people reacting to him in a very submissive and interested way.
Right. Everyone that stands in front of him and talks to him is just... Everything coming out of his mouth is gold. You're absolutely right.
Like, even when they disagree with him, they go, well, you know, I mean, at least Matt Lauer, I got to say this about him. He's obviously completely disagreeing with him and not intimidated by him because, you know, Matt Lauer has interviewed a lot of famous people.
Matt Lauer was getting, like, almost pissed. Oh, not pissed. I don't know what the word is, but frustrated.
Incensed?
Perturbed.
Like he's recognizing what you're talking about, Jim. That this guy, here's this guy sitting in front of me that has people just pumping him up all day long for his entire life, and I'm supposed to now sit here and do the same thing? Well, fuck you.
Like some hot chick, Tom Cruise will pontificate about psychiatry to some stripper or some other, you know, smart girl who's really hot, and she'll go, oh my God, that's so like...
Yeah.
Whereas anyone else, if I was with Keith and he said that, I'd go, shut up, you idiot, what the fuck are you talking about? He'd go, all right, stupid, and that'd be the end of the discussion.
Well, you know, dude...
Who's that, Patrice?
My leg.
Oh, Bob?
Bob Kelly.
Oh, Bob. Dude, man, psychiatry is bullshit. Shut up.
Yeah, the same words can be coming out of a hot chick's mouth, and you'd be, oh, well, indeed. Oof.
Well, that's fucking rehearsing idiot Bob is.
Let's go back to the clips here. They go at it a little bit here.
But a little bit what you're saying, Tom, is you say you want people to do well, but you want them to do well by taking the road that you approve of, as opposed to a road that may work for them.
No, I'm not.
Well, if antidepressants work for Brooke Shields, why isn't that okay?
I disagree with it. And I think that there's a higher and better quality of life. And I think that promoting, for me, personally, see, you're saying, what, I can't discuss what I want to discuss?
No, you absolutely
I know,
can.
But Matt, you're going in and saying that I can't discuss that.
I'm only asking, isn't there a possibility that, do you examine the possibility that these things do work for some people? That yes, there are abuses, and yes, maybe they've gone too far in certain areas. Maybe there are too many kids on Ritalin. Maybe electric shock.
Too many kids on Ritalin. Matt.
I'm just saying, but aren't there examples where it works?
Matt, you don't even, you're glib. You don't even know what Ritalin is. If you start talking about chemical imbalance, you have to evaluate and read the research papers on how they came up with these theories, Matt. Okay? That's what I've done. And you go and you say, where's the medical test? Where's the blood test that says how much Ritalin you're supposed to get?
He may be right about that. I don't know enough. In that thing, I'm actually going to say Tom Cruise may have a point about Ritalin. As much as he's a smug ass, and the fact if he says Matt again, I'm going to bite Big Kev.
Matt.
Matt. You know, Matt, I read it, Matt.
You're glib, Matt. You're glib.
Matt.
Glib.
A typical actor, no real social skills, or, you know, just uninteresting. But he may be right about Ritalin.
What's up, Ben?
I don't know. I haven't. I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a couple of days. I'm going to do all my Ritalin research, and I'll come back.
Jesus.
Anthony will have dates, and, you know, in Tuskegee, the airmen were on Ritalin, right?
Tuskegee. Tuskegee.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Tuskegee Allen. They go there and rub shit on themselves and shove a banana in their ass.
That's why the airmen looked like that.
Tuskegee.
That's hilarious. What is it, Tuskegee?
Tuskegee.
Yeah, whatever. Tuskegee is what I get.
I like Jim's pronunciation of that.
Thank you.
Or pronunciation.
I
call myself.
Wow.
I told you, I'm only up to the D.
Dude, I'm not going to fuck with your dick shown. I mean, I'm glad that you said
I'll get through 20 more words that start with the letter D in that time that Anthony does his research. Here's another clip. Let's get through this before we take a break. I got a leak so bad, it's not even funny.
It's very impressive to listen to you, because clearly you've done the homework and you know the subject.
And you should. And you should do that also, because just knowing people who are on Ritalin isn't enough. You should be a little bit more responsible in knowing
I'm
really...
not prescribing Ritalin, Tom, and I'm not asking anyone else to do it.
Well,
I'm
you are. You're
saying,
saying... No,
I know some people who seem to have been helped by it.
But you're saying... But it's like, this is a very important issue.
Shut up!
This is a very... And you know what? And you're here on the Today Show.
Right.
And... to talk about it in a way of saying, well, isn't it okay, and being reasonable about it when you don't know, and I do. I think that you should be a little bit more responsible in knowing what it is, because you communicate to people.
But you're now telling me that your experiences with the people I know, which are zero, are more important than my experiences.
What do you mean by that?
You're telling me what's worked for people I know, or hasn't worked for people I know, and I'm telling you I've lived with these people, and they're better.
So you're advocating it.
I am not. I'm telling you, in their case, in their individual case, it worked. I am not going to go out and say, get your kids on Ritalin, it's the cure-all and the end-all.
Matt, but here's the point. What is an ideal scene in life? Okay? Ideal scene is someone not having to take antipsychotic drugs.
I would agree.
Okay, so now you look at it and you go, okay, a departure from that ideal scene is someone taking drugs. Okay? And then you go, okay, what is the theory and the science behind that justifies that?
Wow.
Just a pompous ass.
Everyone's been kissing his ass for so long.
Matt knows people. This hit Matt. He irritated Matt Lauer. Because Matt Lauer may have, I don't know if he's married, I don't know if he has a girlfriend or whatever, but somebody close to him.
Somebody.
Probably a relative was fucked up and is better now and maybe is not depressed or suicidal, whatever the situation is, and he's annoyed at this Hollywood motherfucker. Like, you're invalidating that? You fucking get your ass kissed, douche.
Yep.
Making $20 million a film. What the fuck do you know? Everyone around you kisses your ass, stupid. Everyone.
Yeah.
When's the last time someone told Tom Cruise, shut up?
Fuck off.
Shut up, would you? Jesus, you're irritating.
Let's go to Craig. Craig.
When was the last time, I bet?
When's the last time somebody teased him really good?
Yeah.
Why are you combing your hair forward? Bah!
Not you. When did someone give him a not you?
Let's say hi to Craig. Craig, what's up?
What's up, man? Calling about Cruise talking about how there's no such thing as a chemical imbalance in the brain. Then 10 seconds later, he's talking about how there's these antipsychotic drugs which are so powerful and mind-altering, which means they're altering the chemical balance of the brain. Contradicting himself right in the same fucking statement. It's ridiculous.
There you go.
Matt, wait, what are you saying, Matt?
Let's go to Mike.
He tries to be intimidating.
Yeah, let's go to Mike on Long Island. Mike?
Hey, since Tom Cruise has done so much research and now he's a proposed expert on psychology, does that make him a fully qualified psychologist?
Well,
yes.
Well, it's like
Dr. Tom Cruise, Ph.D.
Prescribing antipsychotic drugs now if he wants.
The psychiatrists out there are telling him to shut the fuck up, basically.
That doesn't matter. They're going to defend their own camp.
The Reverend Dr. Tom Cruise.
All right, one more clip. It's a short one here. Tom Cruise and Matt Lauer on the
This is
Today
where
Show.
Tom calls Matt a fuckface, I believe.
Let me take this one down, because I think you and I could go around in circles on this for a while. And I respect your opinion on it. Do you want more people to understand Scientology? Would that be a goal of yours?
You know what? Absolutely, of course. You know,
how do you go about that?
You just communicate about it. And the important thing is, like, you and I talk about it, whether it's... Look, if I want to know something, I go and find out. Because I don't talk about things that I don't understand. I'll say, you know what? I'm not so sure about that. I'll go find more information about it so I can come to an opinion based on the information that I have.
You're so passionate about it.
And I'm passionate about learning. I'm passionate about life.
Eek.
He is a self-righteous nudge. Tom Cruise is a nudge.
Oof. A little rough language.
He's a nudge. Tom Cruise is 1 second away from going,
Tom.
Psychiatry's a bunch of bunk.
He is the worst.
What?
Just an actor.
A nudge.
This is Hollywood, though. This is Hollywood with the little curtain peeled back a little bit. This is stuff your publicist tries to keep away from the public. They don't like things like this. They wanted, God damn, is that funny? Okay. There's a clip of Tom Cruise is the Sith Lord, and it's him on Oprah. And you know how he jumped up on the couch and then he got down and actually was grabbing at Oprah's hands and gesturing towards her? They put in those electric shocks that the Emperor does. And it looks like he's shocking Oprah. God damn, is that on Foundry?
Yeah, foundrymusic.com. Link it to opieandanthony.com.
That is really funny.
That's
good
really
job.
Funny.